What's up, guys? I hope everybody's doing good. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. You see, I got the 2025 Stark Varg EX Alpha, and today we're going to go get lost. We're going to go explore some real scenic roads, have a little bit of fun, and I'm going to talk to you about the powertrain of this bike. So let's not waste any time. Let's get into it. Let's go for a ride.
Bro, it is just so unreal to me. Like, we're talking about 80 horsepower from an electric motorcycle that weighs roughly 265 pounds. Like, let that sink in for a second, dog. 80 horsepower, 265 pounds. No clutch, no gearbox, no shifting. No engine noise. It's crazy. So, today we're going to go ride some of the beautiful roads around Madison County, head through some of the rolling countryside, work our way towards the Blue Ridge, and talk about what makes this thing so interesting on pavement. We're going to talk about the motor, the torque, power delivery, regeneration, the features that make this bike an absolute joy to ride. Now, obviously, I'm not riding around Madison County with 80 horsepower pinned everywhere I go. This would be a very short vlog, and possibly a very short career. So, the beauty of the Alpha is that you can dial the power back, and I talked about this in my last video. And honestly, man, that's one of the coolest things about this bike. You don't have to treat 80 horsepower like an on-off switch. You can just set up the bike to deliver substantially less power. I generally cruise these back roads somewhere around the 45 to 55 horsepower range, depending on where I'm at. It's really why I love riding around here, man. You get these like super long stretches of Virginia countryside, rolling hills, farm fields, trees, and then like suddenly the road starts bending, and you're thinking, okay, Virginia, I see what you're doing. Route 231 is one of those roads, bro, that makes you want to slow down and, like, look around. It's part of, I guess, a scenic driving network through this part of Virginia. It runs kind of through Madison County towards the Blue Ridge and eventually towards Sperryville, Virginia. And we're actually going to touch that road today, I believe, for a little bit on our journey. And that's exactly the kind of environment where this bike gets interesting. So stick around. Something crazy could happen, but you never know. Probably not. Alright, where in the world am I? Novum Church. Anybody out there from Novum Church? Probably not. I've lived here for like 42 fucking years, and I still find places that I've never been to. It's crazy, the back roads. Like, for real, you could get lost back here, and, you know, you hear banjos, man. It's your story. It's game over. We got people like that around here. People that'll kill you and possibly eat you, consume your flesh. I wouldn't put it past them. Nothing like a bunch of hillbillies without any teeth trying to chew your arm off. Oh my god, dude. The stuff that goes on that we don't know about. I bet you there's all kinds of crazy stuff up in these back hills. We'll keep our eye out along the way. We could potentially get shot by angry rednecks. That's always a possibility too. You just never know. But what I do know for certain is they better hope that they're a better shot than me. Because I'm a pretty damn good shot. And I'm not just going to lie down and take it. Oh my God. Toothless hillbillies. We do a whole series on that. Who knows, man? I'm getting way off track talking about some imaginary stuff. Let's talk about what's actually happening underneath me right now. IRL, the real world. So, the Stark Varg uses an electric motor. I think it's SPMAC. I don't know how you would pronounce that. And they list it at 59.7 kilowatts, which works out to about 80 horsepower. Peak motor torque is listed at 90 Newton meters, bro. When people hear horsepower, they automatically think top speed. But torque is what makes this bike feel so punchy. And with an electric motor, the delivery, it's extremely immediate and quick. You guys hear that? Seriously, do you hear it? Exactly. This is probably one of the strangest things about riding an electric motorcycle for me. Because this is my first electric bike. I am new to the world. Did you realize how much noise a gasoline motorcycle normally makes, man? On a normal bike, you accelerate and the entire landscape knows. It just announces to everybody. Hello, I'm fucking here. I'm loud. I'm in your face. Varg is more like, pardon me. I'm just out for a little stroll. I don't know why. I don't know why I went with the British accent. I just figured, you know what? British sounds like a pardon me, out for a little stroll. That kind of sounds like a Stark Varg to me. Who knows? And on scenic roads, I actually really like it. You're able to hear the environment, you know? You're not constantly surrounded by engine noise. You can hear the wind moving through the trees. You can hear the birds chirping. You can hear tires on the pavement. It's so immersive. And because this is a dual sport, enduro style motorcycle, it feels perfectly at home when the pavement eventually gives way to gravel or dirt. The possibilities are endless. So this is Duet Road. Well, we're gonna go down it. Hopefully I make it out alive, you know? Oh my gosh. It's paved, so I guess that's a good sign. Still maintained by the state. That's always good. Nobody appears to have been raped by angry hillbillies. That's always something you look for on a road that you travel. You can't really ask for much more than that. Yeah, it's kind of a fun road though. It's kind of curvy. Look, we got some curves coming up. All right. Not a lot of traffic. Oh, here comes somebody. Hey, how are you gonna... Fuck. Yeah. Pretty cool road. A friend actually told me about this road, and I kind of looked it up before I came out, just to kind of kind of see where it went, so I cheated a little bit, but it looks like we can get a really good view of one of the more popular mountains around here, known as Old Rag Mountain. Old Rag Mountain. Spectacular view at the end of Duet Road. Follow it all the way through. So that is what I'm doing. I do have a GPS on my bike currently, so I can kind of see where things go. I don't imagine I'm going to get too lost. That'd be really cool if I got lost, though. I would probably die. I have nothing to survive with. Yeah, hopefully I could build a fire maybe. I do have a lighter. I could build a fire, a signal fire. Because I have no idea where we're fucking going, dog. We're just getting it. We're just gonna do it. Seize the day. Don't talk about it, be about it. And that's really the character of the EX, you know? It's not pretending to be a touring bike. It's an enduro motorcycle that happens to be street legal. And that is a very important distinction. What? Look at this house up on the mountain, dog. Look at it. It's the size of a castle. What does this guy do for a living? My intrusive thoughts, man, I want to ride up there and like ask him. Maybe putt around on his beautiful grass. Keeps everything well maintained. I can see the potholes, groundhog holes and stuff. I wonder if he'd let me. It's quiet enough, I could sneak up there. No, better not. The goal is to not get arrested. Look at that house. Man, these houses are really, really nice. Look at that barn. Barn is nicer than my house. Like, what is going on? It's not your stereotypical mountain town. You'd think like everybody's cars would be up on cinder blocks, and nope. Looks like some pretty highfalutin, high society folks live back here. I bet they got a bunch of like valuables. I bet they got safes. Oh, yeah. No, not getting arrested. Not getting arrested. Not today. I'm just surrounded by mountains. So I'd like to talk about the engine regeneration. That is one of my favorite things about this bike. It completely changes the character of the bike. So it uses a motor as a generator to slow the bike down. So instead of all that energy simply turning into heat through the brakes, some of it can be converted back into electrical energy and returned to the battery. It's not free energy. I do want to make that clear. If you hear somebody say, oh, regenerative braking means you can ride forever. No. Negative. Nada. That's not how physics work, bro. I checked. But regen can influence how the motorcycle feels, in my opinion. You can adjust the amount of engine brake and regen depending on your setup. So more regen gives you stronger deceleration when you roll off. Less regen makes the bike feel freer when you close the throttle. This is one of the coolest aspects of the Stark Varg. You're not simply buying a motorcycle. You're buying something you can customize electronically with the touch of a button. It doesn't get much better than that. So, being that you can customize the power characteristics, you can have one setup that's mild, another that's aggressive, You can change the amount of engine braking. You can create different personalities for the same frickin' motorcycle. So you could have, like, map 1, your nice peaceful Sunday ride. And map 5, well, I made mistakes, time to meet God.
Still around and you're really enjoying the content that I'm putting out for you today, please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to grow this channel, trying to build a little community of like-minded individuals. So hit that bell, leave me a like, and let's get back on the road.
Yeah, so it looks like we're coming to the end of Duet Road, and he was right. Look, man, I am surrounded by mountains. What a beautiful view. Oh man, look at all these fields. I would love to rip through some of these fields. I bet you, like, we're in bear country now. I need to be aware of the bear. Again, the bike's so quiet. You have the tendency to really kind of sneak up on wildlife unsuspectingly. So right in front of us, that giant mountain up in the top right-hand screen is a pretty famous mountain called Old Rag. A lot of people come to this area to hike it. It is quite a challenge depending on which trail you take. And many people have lost their lives trying to summit that mountain. Not really. But man, that sounds dope, doesn't it? The mountain would be a whole lot cooler. It would be not famous, it would be an infamous mountain. I just love it, man. The mountains in the distance, the farms, the old barns, the trees lining the road, and these little stretches of pavement that just wind through the countryside. To me, Madison County is one of those places where you don't necessarily need a destination. The road is the destination. And that's exactly what motorcycles are supposed to be about. You don't need to go 100 miles. You don't need to visit 14 attractions. You don't need to post a spreadsheet of your trip. You just ride. You look around, you find a road, you follow it, and hopefully you remember to check your battery. I'm doing pretty good, though. Not bad, not bad. Okay. Check it out. I know where this... Oh, man. Like you never know. I know exactly where we are now. This is that road I'm talking about, Fort Valley Road. This is the road that a lot of people travel to get to the Blue Ridge Mountains of this area. Skyline Drive. So we're going to get on the road, truck it on down here. Keep on keeping on. Livin. Yeah, when I get out here on this pavement like that, like these roads where I can pick up some speed, you start really noticing the chassis. You know, this isn't some low-powered electric commuter pretending to be an enduro. The Varg EX is designed around serious off-road performance. You've got high-end suspension hardware, you've got strong brakes, you've got the chassis geometry of an actual performance off-road motorcycle. That's important on pavement too, because the bike doesn't feel like an electric scooter. It feels like a dirt bike. A really, really fucking powerful dirt bike. And I'm not even close. I'm like half of the 80 horsepower. I'm in like 42 horsepower right now, I think. Well, let's put the 80 horsepower number into perspective. So the Alpha's 59.7 kilowatt peak output is a lot of power for an off-road derived motorcycle. I mean, the motor can spin around 13,900 RPM. That gives Stark an enormous amount of performance potential. But here's the important part. You don't need all of it. The power is a tool. It's there when you need it. If you're climbing a steep hill, awesome. If you're passing some slow-ass mofo, awesome. If you want to launch out of a corner, awesome. But on a scenic back road, honestly, 30, 40 horsepower is way more enjoyable. Because you can actually use it, you know what I mean? It's like having a steak dinner and saying, yeah, but I can't eat the entire cow. You technically can, but maybe you don't. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. Maybe that was not a good analogy. I don't know, man. Cut me some slack, bro. Cut me some slack. I'm trying. Well, try harder. That's what the adults used to tell me. All right, so we left the farm with 97% battery life, and I know somebody is screaming by now, check your battery, you dumbass, check it. What is wrong with you? You have been riding for 21 minutes. I'm at 47% currently. So, we are doing okay. I know where I'm at now. We're not going to get stranded. I'm not going to get lost. I'm going to take this left here. And we're going to continue out and come back out on Duet Road, the road that we took in. So let's go check it out. To me, this was right along the lines of a perfect ride for me. I think that's where the Varg EX makes the most sense. A morning ride, start with a full battery, head out into the countryside, ride some pavement, find some gravel, explore some back roads, maybe hit a trail if it's legal and appropriate, go have some lunch, take some photos, ride back, plug in, done. Maybe I'm getting old. Maybe I'm just lame and boring. But that's what I'm into. It's very different than saying, I'm going to ride from Virginia to Tennessee today. For that, bring gasoline motorcycle. Or bring a very large extension cord. Actually, don't do any of that. It's too much work. We like to stay close. I like to not work so hard. I'm kind of lazy, you know what I mean? But the fun factor outweighs everything. It's easy to forget when you get buried in specifications. 80 horsepower, 90 newton meters, fucking 7 kilowatt, whatever. 264 pounds, blah, 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 blah. All those numbers are cool. But eventually, you have to ride the thing. And once you're actually moving, the numbers disappear. You're just riding. And that is where the Stark Varg makes its argument, my friends. It is fun beyond fun. More fun than a barrel of monkeys. Make my words. More fun than you could shake a stick at. So here's the question. Why would you buy the Alpha? If you don't need the 80 horsepower, why pay for it? And honestly, for a lot of riders, you probably wouldn't need to. The standard Varg EX has 60 horsepower. 60! Which is already absolutely ridiculous for an enduro bike. The Alpha gives you the additional performance headroom. And for some riders, that's exactly the point. It's not about needing it, it's about wanting it. Motorcycles have been doing this forever. Nobody needs a 1000cc sport bike to commute to work. Nobody needs 150 horsepower to buy milk. Nobody needs a loud exhaust. Nobody needs carbon fiber. Nobody needs a motorcycle. That's why we're here. It's kind of like a gun. It's better to need it and not have it than not have it and need it. Right? Can we all agree on that? So, final thoughts. After spending the day riding the Varg EX Alpha through Madison County, what do I think? Performance? Absolutely insane. Power delivery? One of the smoothest and most immediate experiences you can get from a motorcycle. Torque? Plenty! Actually, more than plenty. Chassis, very capable. Handling, the Enduro DNA is obvious. Noise, well, that's basically non-existent compared to a gas bike. And range, that's the compromise, you know. It all depends on what it is you're doing. If you're looking for a long-distance touring motorcycle, this probably isn't it. If you're looking for a street-legal Enduro that can tear up trails and quietly cruise home, now you're talking, bro. So, would I call the Varg EX Alpha the perfect backroad motorcycle? No, because I know to a lot of people range matters, and so does charging. And if you're going to ride 150 miles in one day, you'd better have a very carefully planned itinerary. But for a local afternoon adventure, absolutely. For exploring roads like these, it's fantastic. For mixing pavement and dirt, even better. And for somebody who wants the weirdest, most technologically interesting motorcycle at the Overlook, well, congratulations. Guess what? You found it, bro. It's right here. All right, so we're back on the farm property now. We made it safe and sound. I'm gonna cut loose a little bit in this field. Actually, it feels super slow after riding out on the road. Man, what a great day it's been. And once I get back here, I'm going to go ahead and pull the statistics for today, the history, and we'll kind of go over how much battery was used, the time, how many miles. And again, if you haven't checked out my video on range anxiety, check that out too. I talk more about the range of the bike in that video. Alright, so you can see the cool little loop we did. We were on the road for 49 minutes. We drove 26.29 miles. Average speed 32.1 and 37% battery used.
So, what did we learn today? Well, we learned that Virginia has some of the most beautiful scenic roads known to man. We also talked about the Stark Varg EX Alpha's powertrain and awesome performance. I hope you guys really went away with some new knowledge and a better idea of how this bike performs out on the road. If you're new here, please subscribe. You guys leave me a like, leave me some comments, let me know what you'd like to see next. I am open to suggestions. So until next video, keep your sunny side up, greasy side down, and to you, I say, sayonara.